Welcome to another Tutorial Tuesday. This week we're playing with clear embossing and different types of inks to create a gorgeous English garden scenery. You will need your craft sheet as well as a heat tool. The following stamp sets. I'm bringing back Magnolia Grove from last week's tutorial by Kaisercraft. Periwinkle as well by Kaisercraft. The stamp number C0580-M by Magenta. A stamp set by Prima, number 555-177. I'll also be using this little stamp set by Impression Obsession. It's just a few leaves, number A8430. And for our sentiment, I'll be using Hugs and Kisses Sentiment stamp set by Just Right. The following distress inks: Chipped Sapphire, Victorian Velvet, Dried Marigold, Salty Ocean, Gathered Twigs, and the embossing ink. The following archival inks: Pale Ochre, Aquamarine, Rose Madder, Cobalt, Olive, and Jet Black. Superfine Detail Clear Embossing Powder by Ranger. Adirondacks Acrylic Paint Dabber in Pearl. The Perfect Medium and Perfect Pearls in Mandarin by Ranger, as well as a brush. Glossy Accents, mini glue dots, and your regular two-sided adhesive. 2 pieces of vanilla cardstock, one measuring 4 1/4 by 11, folded in half at the 5.5 inch mark. 1 piece that measures 4 by 5 1/4. A second piece of vanilla cardstock that measures 4 by 5 1/4. And a piece of navy blue cardstock that measures 4 1/8 by 5 3/8. For my first step, I'll be embossing the magenta stamp with some clear powder, and this is going to be our resist for the card. And this will be tough to see because I'm embossing in clear, but bear with me. So I think I'm going to start here, right up top, sort of like the full image right here in the corner right here. And lastly, I'm going to do just a little bit at the bottom here. Make sure that my whole image is covered. So if I move my cardstock around, you can sort of see the powder right now, and I'm going to heat set that. And now you can see the pattern. So this will be our resist. So I'm just going to let this cool off a little bit, and we're going to start on our background. For the background, I'll be using a combination of these 4 colors. We have Dried Marigold, Victorian Velvet, Salty Ocean, and Gathered Twigs. And look how pretty that is. Already we're starting to see a beautiful landscape forming. So for the flowers, I'm going to use a combination of archival inks. I have Pale Ochre, Rose Madder, Aquamarine, and Olive. And if I feel that I need to have all these flowers pop, I'll be giving little touches of the Cobalt. The main reason why I'm using archival inks is because they are waterproof, and I'm not sure at this point if I'm going to be adding some more distress inks to our background. So this ensures that if we do add some more distress inks, or maybe we want to spray with something to make it shiny, these inks will always remain as is, and also they will cover the embossed areas. And I have different flowers. This one is from the Periwinkle set. It's tough to see, but this I'll be using as kind of like a shadow flower with a pale ochre. Then I have this branch that I used last week, which is from the Magnolia Grove, and these are both from Kaiser Craft. I also have these little flowers from, or these little leaves by Impression Obsession, and this I will use with the green. So I'm going to start with what I call, with what I've determined to be my shadow flower, and I'll be using the pale ochre archival ink and the stand from Periwinkle, and this will add a nice touch to the background. And as you can see, it sort of does a little shadowed flower to the whole thing. I'm going to stamp it again towards the bottom, right here, like so. So this just gives us like a ghosting effect, I want to say. I'm going to add one more here. There we go. Now I'm going to switch to the stamp from the Magnolia Grove stamp set, and I'll take the Rose Madder archival ink, hang this up. Now this is a more vibrant color, and it's going to give us another look. By adding that dark color, the lighter ones pop. Before I proceed, I just want to heat set that just to make sure that everything is dry. Love, love, love the shadow images over there. And by placing the flowers like I did, I sort of created a bed for our sentiment. But before I go ahead and add the sentiment, I just want to do some kind of a cloud here in the sky. So for that, I'm going to take the Pearl Paint Dabber by Adirondack, and I'm going to dab a little bit on my mat, and I'm going to pick it up with my fingers, and I want to add the illusion of a cloud right here. So what I want to do now is I want to add some more distress ink to the sky to make the clouds pop. So I have here dried marigold. I'm just going to add a little bit of that, going over the blue that I've already laid down at the beginning. Now I want to stamp the sentiment. And for this, I'm going to use the Cobalt archival ink. And I'm going to stamp it right here. Oh, look how beautiful that is. Love it. So I've got Chip Sapphire here, and I'm just going to add, I'm going to add this sort of all around the card. And this is going to make everything pop and come to life. Oh, I love it. I don't want to go in too deep on the top. There we go. And I'm just going to clean this up a little bit, like so. Oops. Damn it. I accidentally rubbed over this area before I dried it with the heat tool. So I would suggest right after you stamp your sentiment that you zap it with the heat tool just to make sure that it is actually dry. My bad. For the main accent, which is the butterfly, we're going to use the perfect medium over our cardstock. And I'm just going to dab this on. I don't need to cover the whole area, just enough so that it fits the butterfly. And I'm going to take the Mandarin Perfect Pearls powder. And of course you don't need to use this color, and I'm just going to, with the brush, dab the powder. And I obviously put way too much. I didn't need all that much. And I'm just going to zap it just a little bit with some water just to set it. So now that this is set, I'm going to use the Jet Black Archival ink and our butterfly stamp from Prima, and I'm simply going to stamp right over that Mandarin Perfect Pearls like this, and I'm just going to cut around the image. There's our shimmery butterfly. Before I add the butterfly to my card, I'm just going to put the card together by folding the piece of vanilla cardstock. Next, I want to take the butterfly with a glue dot. I'm going to stick that to the card. So I'm just going to put a little glue dot in the middle here. Stick my butterfly here at the bottom. So now I'm going to add some pearls to the center of the butterfly, and just to make sure that they really stay, I'm going to add glossy accents before I actually add the pearls. And that way I'll know for sure that the pearls are going to be permanent. And there's our card. How cool is that? I love the different reflections that we have, from the pearl dabber to the clear embossing, which we can see throughout, like in between, poking in between the flowers, the different colors. I like the shimmer of the perfect pearls. I want to give you a close-up of these flowers. Look at all the texture that we've got going on. I love it. You can play with a whole bunch of different themes. It doesn't have to be flowers. You can do trees and different elements, landscapes and whatnot, just as long as you remember how to use the proper inks. So I hope that you've enjoyed this tutorial. As usual, if you have any questions, please let us know in the comments below, and I will see you next week. Bye bye.